when I started my television career, I started in animation, and I actually rose very quickly. I was the god of animation, but before I was writing for things like Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Sliders and so forth. So one of the great shows that I wrote for back then was a show called Superfriends. And it was particularly fun for me because I'd grown up loving the DC comic characters, Superman and Batman and Green Lantern and their whole, of the Flash, all of those marvelous, marvelous characters. And to get to write them in an animated cartoon was just great fun. It was hilarious. So I wrote several of those episodes, and also the other claim to fame I have is that my friend Michael Reeves, who was also writing for Superfriends, created a character called Zicree the Kryptonian, who was a supervillain. And so I actually got to be a supervillain as well as a writer for the show. And so it's fun because now that I'm doing Space Command, Michael and I are working together again, we're writing together, and here we are 30 years later after working on Superfriends, still writing in the science fiction genre, and still creating stories that excite us and entertain us, and that we hope will entertain the audience at large.